Hello, sir. Do you talk to girls on here, bro?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you actually?
Yes, is that a problem?
No, I just don't. I don't believe it.
Hey,
Who is that
cute.
talking like that? I won't. Oh my god! Oh shit!
Yeah, that's a big thing. I think that's where I find a lot of success in that short form content because, especially with like TikTok, somebody will see something very funny. They're gonna save it. They're gonna show it to their friends. Their friends are then gonna watch it again, show it to their friends, and it's just this never-ending cycle of just people watching it over and over. Just because it was a very funny moment, and I get it. I totally do. There's a lot of great moments that I personally have watched back that if we could ever replicate it, awesome. If not, I totally get it. It's probably historical. It's never going to happen again.
Hello, Tom Lavecchia here with the latest edition of the New Theory podcast. Today, we have a very, very special guest, Hyphonix, who has over 1 million subs. If you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube, you're on YouTube Shorts, you probably saw who this guy is. And if you haven't, you will today. Hyphonix, welcome to the New Theory podcast. How are you doing today?
Pleasure to meet you, Tom. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much for such a nice introduction. Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm fanboying a little bit. You literally rule my feed. But let's learn how you are as a person. Tell us a little bit about your formative years, where you grew up, and how you got into the craziness that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Besides being known as the creepy bald guy with the mustache that pops up and scares people, that's not something that I ever anticipated where my career would take me. It's just it happened. It seems like being bald with a mustache is just by default scary for people, especially when you have a hostage.
Do you want this man to live, yes or no? He wants to go home. Answer the question. How much calories are in a McChicken?
Wait, are you looking at that too?
How many calories are in a McChicken? Simple question,
Wait,
10 seconds.
Stop. Wait, hey, you.
How many calories are in a McFlurry?
But before I got all the way into that kind of content that I'm doing today right now, I started streaming 8 years ago. Back when I was in high school, in 12th grade, finishing up high school, I started streaming. It was very humble beginnings. The goal was not to scare people. It wasn't even to mess with people that I do today. It was just to start streaming and play a mobile game called Clash of Clans to promote people to join my clan. That is what I started 8 years ago. And it quickly developed into something completely larger than I ever anticipated because I was just doing it for fun. But it quickly picked up. When I started that and started streaming, it quickly developed into me realizing that my content is not going to be revolved around the games that I play or whatever I'm doing on any game. It was mostly personality, which I was able to take and bring it to where I am today because I have changed up my content throughout the years. At the moment, Omegle is what I've been doing for the longest.
Correct.
And in terms of finding that niche that really has worked out for me in terms of the highest success has just been just this year, where it's really worked out. I finally stick the landing and finding out what people really like, what people really love. And it's been just as simple as just a jump scare because no matter what language you speak, if there's no words being spoken, just a simple peekaboo pop-up jump scare has been such a massive success. So I'm beyond blessed to be in the situation I'm in right now and the position I'm in.
Yeah, but here's what's interesting, John, Hyphonix, about you is you do the jump scare, and just really quick, because I'm a little long in the tooth, I'm a little older. Omegle was, we'll get into that, kind of like you go on, you can chat with somebody, you want to move on, you chat to the next. These are strangers, you get matched up randomly, tends to be on the younger side, which makes it interesting from a content perspective. But and a jump scare is obviously, I know it's obvious, but you do something to jolt somebody, and then the reaction is where the gold is. But what's interesting is you kind of employ the 5 to 8 same jump scares, but yet they still work. Like, give us kind of like your creative process and how
So
that works. Yeah.
realistically, the jump scares, when they work, that's so awesome. I'm happy. However, though, what I really enjoy is when I find someone that is one extremely gullible, has no idea what's going on. Because a lot of people that go on these websites like Omegle, they are looking for their favorite content creator. They know exactly what to expect.
Yeah.
So when I come across someone that doesn't know what's going on, that is the person where I will do much more than just a jump scare. I'll try to build up a story. I'll be like, you pick a number 1 through 5, think about it. Great. And then that's where I would just infiltrate into like a hostage bit and then have them feel like they're the ones that did the issue. Like they're the victim of what I'm employing on them. And then if they still have not ran away out of pure fear, I have so many different different things I can play through that I pop in the background, maybe even get them a little bit more scared. If they haven't already jumped scared already by my appearance and they haven't run away, then I'll finish off with a jump scare. But most of the time, I don't have that happening often because the second I disappear, people are moving on. They're moving on quick. And if I can get a jump scare in, typically, and I think this is like a normal response, they run away right away because it's just normal to be, on the run when you're scared. I really, really look for people that are just gullible, don't know what's going on, and stick around after the jump scare so I can even scare them even more. And it doesn't happen often, though.
Oh my goodness. I love your aesthetic. It looks like the room from Toy Story 3. What do you collect for fun? I collect people.
Why do you look so scared?
What's going on?
Don't tell him.
Yeah, but your brilliance is the simplicity. So what you do is, and you know this obviously, but like you got kind of the similar jump scares, and you want to watch how people react to the same jump scare. But then also with your popularity, and it's funny, people see you on Omegle, but they notice you from TikTok. So like you're pretty famous now, so they still see it's you, but yet they still get scared. Like, walk me through, like.
Oh, okay, so that's okay. So I live stream every reaction I've ever gotten. Everything I've ever posted on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of that is just straight from my live streams. And I have done many days where I've done 4 hours nonstop, just skipping through, trying to find someone to scare, and I don't get a single reaction, not a single one. Sometimes I'll get lucky, I'll get one, and on a really good day, I'll get like 2 or 3. It has definitely gotten super hard because even if they know me, they don't play along. And if they do know me, I can tell. They'll be smiling and cheesing, and they'll be like, oh, what are you going to do now? It's like, I know you know. So it's gotten a lot harder. But even if they don't know me, because so many other people have copied the content of the fake skip, the hacking that I've done, they've seen it happen. So they're very smart in terms of like, I know what's going on. You're not going to get me. And I just can't get a jump scare, or I can't get a reaction. It was definitely a lot easier 8-9 months ago before the popularity from TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube all blew up because people were extremely gullible and they had no idea. So I was scaring everyone, no matter what. A full-grown man sitting in his room just by himself, screaming like a girl. That doesn't happen too often anymore, just because people have educated themselves. So it's hard. So it's made me have to think outside the box of how I'm going to scare people now, rather than just a simple jump scare. I need to think further than that. And that's what I'm currently in the process of trying to develop, of how I can still scare people and make it as creative as possible, and which we have been able to really do it. There was a skit we've done recently where I pretended to be on the news.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm just chilling. I'm just trying to find something. Sorry.
Yo, what is happening?
It's the news. Here, you can listen to it. Pause. Playback. 15 seconds. Play.
New tonight. We have an update in the case of John Sakadorian, the 27-year-old Florida man, also known as the content creator and influencer Hyphonix. 6 months ago, he was arrested for breaking and entering along with wiretapping, and today has been found guilty of these charges. He's best known for his videos on YouTube and TikTok, where he scares strangers on a website called Omegle. Citizens say that his viral internet videos should have raised concerns to authorities. He's currently being held on house arrest with a 1-year probation on internet access.
Why, do you know him? Pause. Do you know him?
I don't think so.
Apparently he does Omegle content. He's on his website.
I don't really watch a lot of YouTube.
Actually, you know what? True. That's a mood.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
So we're basically trying to make people break their guard down and focus on something else completely. Forget that there's a jump scare, forget there's a skit, and just focus on something in the background and really just like lean into it. When we know that they're vulnerable, they're leaning in, that's when we know we could either do a jump scare or scare them in any other way. So it's getting harder, but we're developing in different methods of trying to scare them.
Well, so good segue. Walk us through your creative process, because you talk about pivoting, kind of pivoting platforms, pivoting format and content. What's your creative process like? If you could walk us through that.
Yeah, so if it's not a jump scare, it's a lot of interactions and different scenes that I film in different locations with other people, where I'll have them ask like very specific questions.
Yeah.
That once I finally come across something that is gullible, I need to think to myself, this is a gamble. What are they going to ask this person, and how are they going to interact with them? And if I can get it right, there is times that they will interact perfectly with my other pre-recorded clips, like a girl saying, "Oh, I love your hair. You're so cute. Are you single?" And they will fall for every step of the way until I pop up. And those are the best. But we have gone through other creative ways of getting people's names disappearing.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah, them forgetting that we asked for their name. We skipped through a lot of people, like 5 or 6 different people. They have no idea what's going on. They've let their guard down. Then we come right back in. And this is, by the way, all done on stream with my community helping me.
yeah.
Like they are there in the live feed, waiting for their turn to help me gaslight. And it's an incredible process when it works out, because we'll do this for hours and we'll be so happy we get one person. And if they fall for it and we get their name and they start questioning, why do you know my name? Everyone just plays along saying, well, we all know your name, which just even gives them even more fear. And at that point, a jump scare would scare them to death completely.
Yeah, what's your name?
Patrick.
What's up, Patrick?
How the hell you know my name? Wait, how the fuck? How did you know my name?
What the fuck is
Wait,
this?
no. How did they know my name for real?
His name Patrick?
What the?
Hey, what's his name?
What's my name?
Can I check my notes?
Sure.
Sure.
It's right here. It's Patrick.
What the?
It's a lot of trial and error, but a lot of the people in my community, I know a lot of them in real life, they are willing to come out or have me come over to their place, and we will film all different iterations of what they could be saying, how they could help me gaslight. And we've even gone to whole different lengths of like having a whole classroom of students helping me as well, in terms of just helping us gaslight and making them feel like they're stupid. Because when I do the fake skip and they know what's going on, I even have iterations where I will congratulate them that they know it's a fake skip. It'll be a whole class of students clapping, looking at them, disappointed. So it's a lot in terms of trying to figure out every avenue of how every interaction can go. So it's not easy.
So you're obviously doing well, over 1 million subs on YouTube and other millions of others on other platforms total. You're really killing it, Hyphonix. My question to you though is, when did this start to become a business?
It started becoming a business, I'd say, a few years ago. Because I've been streaming for a very long time, but it was definitely just me doing everything by myself. And then obviously delegating some of the work to, others to work on videos and edits and whatnot. I have been very fortunate from the very beginning to be making a living off of it 8 years ago as well, too, when I started.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when I started 8 years ago, it picked up very quickly. And just after a year of streaming, I was being picked up by esports organizations to commentate for their games. And the success was picking up very quickly, but I was running this as a one-man show for a very, very long time. And I made a lot of friends with other content creators that, they've guided me, they've helped me over the years and told me, how I should run different things and whatnot. And because of a lot of the guidance that I've had with a lot of close friends that are in the same business as me, that are smaller and much larger than me in comparison, they really helped me guide in terms of how to run this whole thing as a business now. I have my wife. She helps me tremendously in the background.
She's amazing, by the way. She's amazing.
Oh, she's helped me so much. And she's also helped me so many times as a hostage. Because if things go good, she's ready to run straight to the computer, get in the character, and pretend like she's a hostage. It is honestly so believable at sometimes, because they know it's not a pre-recording. I'm talking to them. I'm interacting with them. She's sitting there thrashing for her life. So not only does she help me in the background with managing, figuring out all the nitty-gritty of sponsors, management, PR, she's also the hostage. Yeah. So it's insane. So now we're a two-man team that run this entirety of all the channels. But I have a lot of work delegated to the people that make my TikToks, I don't edit them myself because it's just so much work. There's so many. I have someone that makes a YouTube video for me as well too. A really good friend of mine that's another content creator. A lot of delegation to other types of content that I can't do all at the same time. So it's nothing too crazy. It's not a massive team. It's realistically just me and my wife that run everything with the help of a few friends.
But one thing I like, John, is that you are edgy in your content. And you gotta remember, I'm you're like maybe a geek with creative. I'm a geek with business. I kind of find it to be somewhat protective of your brand. You don't do kind of willingly sponsorships. You're not asking for cash apps. You're just like kind of growing your brand, and obviously you're doing well doing it. But like you're protective of it at the same time, because you could be like a big money grab right now. You could probably get X amount for TikTok activations and yada yada yada. But like you're very protective of the brand. Is that something that is organic, or it's consciously part of the plan to be edgy in content but be protective of the brand?
So my community knows that I'm very transparent with what I will advertise to them and what I will personally use. And there has been a lot of advertisers that have come that we have turned down just because it's not really on site with what I would even do, what I even believe in, and what I would even use as a product. So my community is very trusting of me and of what I'm going to actually promote to them. They know that I'm not going to just promote anything towards them. And that's a big whole part that extends to all my social medias as well too. It's been something that we've been consciously always making sure to be careful of. We don't want to pick up something that we don't believe in and that we know everyone's going to be judging us because they know it's just a cash grab. So it's been definitely conscious in terms of what I would personally use and what I know my viewers would actually try themselves. And I've been doing this for almost a decade. I've done many different sponsors with different organizations and whatnot, and I've learned my lesson of of what was right, what wasn't right, and what not to really interact with. And plus, having my viewers there with live feedback, they will be very frank with me if they don't like something. So I'm never in the dark of like, oh, is this what I should be getting? They let me know. If they don't like something, they will tell me. So that's been a really solid guide.
Now we're in like kind of a creator economy for the first time, pretty much ever, where people are really kind of looking to their parents and saying, "Hey, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a streamer, I want to be whatever it is." And like I'm a little older than you, you get a smack in the back of the head. What is that? But nowadays it's more common. What is maybe one of the mistakes you have made as a creator, business-wise, that maybe you want to share with somebody watching who is a creator on the come? And it's like, hey, wait a second, you know what? Let me not make that mistake. What's maybe a mistake or two you might have made?
Oh, that's a great question. This is something that I reflect on a lot of times, just because I've been streaming for almost a decade now, and I have done so many different things and different adventures. I have done lots of live streams with massive events and corporations, and I have learned that I was so focused on what I was doing that I didn't look for help for finances and look for help for business. I know for a fact in my very early years, when I was super young, 19, 20, things were going great. I was focusing on just streaming every single day, but I wasn't focusing on getting sponsors, thinking this as a business, as a longevity, as a career. And I know I missed out on so much. So if there's anything I can give to anybody in this kind of a career path, if you find success into it, be very willing to accept help from others that you trust that are willing to help you. Because I've missed out on a lot of opportunities as I started this off, just because I, one, personally didn't see that it would be worth my time. Obviously, as I've grown up now, I know it would have been worth my time looking for different business ventures and different sponsorships that I could have definitely built up.
All right. So again, I've been following you probably for a few months now, and I see you on YouTube. I'm an older guy. YouTube's my kind of social medium of choice, and I watch your shorts. I watch your live streams. So my first question is, you live stream almost like every night, right?
Every night, yeah.
So where does that work ethic come from? Because you're not the traditional like creator. Where does that work come from?
So I know for a fact I don't need to live stream every day of my life. I can definitely just find success in just doing it a few days. Maybe, but I'm not going to lie to you. It's a culmination of a few things. One, I love it so much. I've been doing it so long that I personally, if I don't stream for a day, I started getting a little panicky because I feel like I've let down my community because they truly expect me to be there every night, and they really get mad at me if I don't go live. They're worse than like a girlfriend that is just in the beginning of a relationship angry. They will tell me, "Where were you? Why weren't you live? You're late by 10 minutes." They're on me. But that being besides the point, I thoroughly enjoy it. The community that I've been able to grow and build up for almost a decade now. A lot of those people that have started watching me all the 8 years ago, they still watch me to this day. I have a face to their name. I've met them in real life. A lot of these viewers that watch me and that support me. So it just feels like a massive accountability to just continue going live every day. And I think if I didn't enjoy it, I didn't find this much passion in it, I definitely would not be doing it every day because it is extremely taxing. And I know a lot of people have told me that it's very stressful work to do it every single day, and I totally get it. It is, but I love it.
And you don't like stream for an hour. You're on for 4 hours. And
Yeah, 4 to 5 hours.
because you watch, you can see the screen up top of what really happening, and then you see what's front facing. So you kind of show the creative process behind the scenes. You're kind of like the magician who shares his tricks, but it works.
It works. It has been a mistake though to show the tricks, just because other people have learned how to do the exact same thing that I do, just because they've been able to study my content and they copy and they find massive success in it as well too. But just to go back on one point of why I do also stream every single day, besides all those other reasons I give you, the internet moves so quick. 1 week is like 1 year if you're gone. So I always want to make sure to keep a constant presence. Because there is times I don't post a video every so often on my YouTube. I am obviously posting shorts, TikTok, Instagram reels every single day, but I find it very important to just keep persistence and a presence online because if you don't stream, they'll find somebody else to watch. They'll fill that time that they would spend watching with you with someone else, and they might even forget about you. So that's always a constant pressure as well too to continue with the ball that's already rolling.
Okay, so and again, I talked about Omegle earlier. As I understand, Omegle's done, correct?
Yes, Omegle died down. Well, it shut down in November. I believe it was November 7th or November 9th. Sometime in the very first few days of November, it shut down. And I already knew right off the bat that there was all their websites that are very similar to it that I can do all the manipulations on it already. So I wasn't too worried about it. Even right now, a lot of the clips that I've been posting on everything have been just new clips of like the content that I usually would post. People are still very confused. They ask me, what am I going to do now? Even though that's just the general audience. I stream every day, still doing it on other websites that are just similar.
Now, that's important. Now, in business, they were kind of like your biggest supplier. Then you look like you had a backup plan and you pivoted quickly, which is amazing. Did you kind of have this backup and you could pivot it, or was it like a rug pull where Omegle was like, hey, we're done?
So I knew about this website. I have actually done content on this website before Omegle shut down just to test the waters out and see other websites. So I did it. I did have this backup plan, but I did not by any means ever in my life think Omegle was going to shut down. It just kind of felt like a website that was going to be there forever. So when I did find out, it was a massive shock to me. And obviously all my friends that did the exact same content in that sphere, we were all blown away. So it was a massive shock, but we all had a backup plan immediately. I was going live the next day on the other sites right away.
Why did it shut down?
So there's actually a couple reasons. From what I have been told from other people, is that they were currently going through a lawsuit that they ended up losing. I believe the lawsuit was for $21 million from a something that happened in 2021. And just because they ended up losing that lawsuit and they had more lawsuits piled on top of that, they didn't want to bother with more issues and more lawsuits piling up on top of everything they're already working with legally. So they shut down the website. And that was one reason. But everything that the owners of Omegle did state in their statement also was true. Just how the website has definitely changed and the internet culture has definitely changed. And the creator just had a lot of stress on his shoulders about it. And he didn't want to continue having that website running. He didn't want to continue pursuing it anymore. So I completely understand him. And that's also something that I always keep thinking in the back of my mind. The other websites that I'm currently on, will they also shut down eventually? It's a possibility.
So, but the cool thing about it is, although Omegle you were kind of all in on, it wasn't your medium. You are big on TikTok, you're big on YouTube, obviously Instagram, you have a huge following. And a lot of creators they don't cross over to other platforms so easily. but you have. How have you been able, like, you know, for example, you'll meet like somebody with 1 million subs on YouTube, but then have like 25,000 on Instagram. I think you're north of 1 million on like 2 or 3 of them. How did you cross platforms?
Yes. So this is actually interesting. For the longest time, I did not do anything in terms of Instagram, TikTok, Shorts,
Yeah.
nothing. I just did my live streams, and then I would occasionally, once every 2 months, make a video. And I did them for 4 years. So I've done so many iterations of skits, ideas, hacking, and jump scares. And I saved up all of that footage. Only until just last year, I decided, okay, I'm going to try to post on TikTok finally. I'm going to post on Instagram, and I'm going to do it daily. I actually I made it my news resolution to do that for TikTok specifically.
Yeah.
And I have this catalog of just years of footage already ready to post. And my friends kept on persisting me and telling me, you got to give it a go. You got to try. You got to, step out of your comfort zone. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So I finally did. And I started posting on every social media daily. And honestly, it blew up so fast that I just kept on posting even more than I anticipated. I was only going to post maybe like once a day. Started posting 3 to 5 times on TikTok, twice on Instagram every day, posting on YouTube every day. I basically started just doing as much as I possibly can. And just 1 year, we are where we are today with 4 million plus on TikTok from just this year alone. From
4 million on TikTok, forgive me. Wow, that's amazing.
And from nothing too, from the beginning of the year. So I was beyond blown away with how much success we found there. And then with Instagram, I think I had maybe 30,000 followers at the beginning of this year, and now we're almost at 900,000. And that's all in just 1 year. And I still plan on continuing posting. I'm not going to stop. And same thing with YouTube. I definitely started taking it much more seriously and posting daily on there as well, just because there's no reason not to. I didn't realize how short form content could echo in such a massive way.
Now, we're approaching 2024. This will probably be out either before New Year's Eve or shortly thereafter. My question to you, though, is like when you plan the creative and you also plan your business, you sit down with your lovely wife and kind of say, hey, what's a game plan for 2024? Where are you going to kind of place bets in 24 that maybe weren't in 23? And what are you maybe going to let go of in 24 that maybe you partnered in on 23?
So with this year coming up, I like I've talked to you about how I need to definitely think outside the box in terms of how I can keep scaring people. I know it's not something that I can continue doing forever because eventually maybe even the website will go down. For this year, I want to try much harder on posting content everywhere, but push it more in terms personality based rather than focusing on trying to scare people. That's what I want to try to do. While, obviously not to rock the ship that's already sailing phenomenally, keep posting everything, but push more into a personality-based content on all of my platforms that I already post on right now, like on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
But what I noticed was what I found my lead in was YouTube Shorts. That's why I didn't even know your YouTube your TikTok following, because I don't think I checked that on TikTok. So I watch your Shorts. But then my secondary I crossed over to Instagram. And one thing I really liked, and you keep bringing up community, you did post, wedding photos and kind of like your personal Instagram account. So like, is that the plan? Like I like you humanize yourself on Instagram. Not that you're not human, but you know what I mean. You humanize yourself on Instagram. And I really thought that was commendable because I was kind of like, this guy's nuts. And then I think you got married. Was it Italy? Where did you get married?
Yeah, we got married last year in Italy, in Florence. The funny thing is people go to that video and say, I was expecting a jump scare. I didn't realize it'd be a legitimate video of your wedding. Happens. I think it's just very funny because they watched it through. They've watched all the videos and they end up getting to the wedding video and they watch it thinking to themselves, oh, he's real. He's a real person.
Yeah.
And I mean, the people that watch my live streams, though, they know my personality side because they see me go through all the turmoil or the failures that we keep on hitting with not getting reactions and whatnot. So I definitely humanize myself on the streams. And I also on all platforms want to just more one-on-one with everybody and just, be more relatable rather than just jump scares, which I'm beyond thankful that I'm able to do. But I definitely want to take it a step further and more into like the mainstream area.
Nice. Now, was there anybody like a celebrity or somebody that maybe their child or themselves like came across and they reached out and you're like, oh my God, or was there anybody notable or even non-notable that reached out to you that you were just like shocked and that like you liked the recognition?
So as I have been starting, I'm trying to think like 8, 10 years ago, there was no one that I really necessarily looked up to. It was actually just other content creators in my sphere that I saw finding success and that I just personally watched over the years that I
Yeah.
fell in love with. And it never was, oh, I think I'll do that myself. I never really had that idea. Like I said, the position that I'm in today from many years ago, never thought I would be doing it. In the slightest. I'm trying to think really quick here. Who's a content creator that I watched as I grew up? There is one content creator I feel like everyone knows, and you know, his name's PewDiePie. I watched his content when I was really young, and that kind of like I kind of like tipped my toe into like YouTube, and I was really religiously watching a lot of other content creators and just getting an idea for what they're doing. I really fell in love with a lot of them just because they were also, they were making content, but they also were extremely relatable too.
Yeah.
So I love that about them.
Wait, so PewDiePie, did he recognize you? Did he reach out? Did he do a show on you? Like what?
Oh, no. Did he reach out? No, I'm just saying who I looked up to. My bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're all good. My bad. I misunderstood that. I wish that would have been awesome. I've met him in real life for 5 minutes, but that doesn't count. Let me think here.
That had to be, because I'm watching this and I'm like, this is gold. And then we're gonna put some B-roll in, obviously, and sprinkle it throughout so people watching have seen it. But if they haven't, they will. I'm just like, I find myself on your shorts, and shorts are short form content, and you can do one in 1 second. I can be there for an hour, and I rewatch them.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I think that's where I find a lot of success in that short form content because, especially with like TikTok, somebody will see something very funny. They're gonna save it. They're gonna show it to their friends. Their friends are then gonna watch it again, show it to their friends, and it's just this never-ending cycle of just people watching it over and over. Just because it was a very funny moment, and I get it. I totally do. There's a lot of great moments that I personally have watched back that if we could ever replicate it, awesome. If not, I totally get it. It's probably historical. It's never going to happen again. But yeah, that's a big factor of success with all the short form content is that it's easy to rewatch again. It's very quick. It's not a long video. And it just gets shared. So I totally get that.
Now, what advice do you have for creators? It looks like we're obviously having a nice conversation. You're obviously a normal person. Your content's a little edgier, but you kind of have the duality of like, hey, I'm a normal guy, but yet I have some fun content. How do you shut down? How do you unwind? How do you detach? Or are you always kind of on? Like how do you segment that?
So when I'm like doing my streams, I'm not really changing much of my personality besides just giving myself a little bit extra energy. But the winding down aspect is, oddly enough, I do all of this at night. I usually do it from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So I'm nocturnal. After I'm done, realistically, it's not a crazy ritual. I just walk my dog at night, decompress a little bit, and go straight to bed. I've already had a long day already a long day prior to going live. And I've kind of really liked it. I like streaming at night. It's something that I've been doing for, like I said, since the very beginning. It's kind of a schedule that just came to be because that's the time I had free 8 years ago because I was going to school, I was going to work, and I only had time at night. And I've just never broke that cycle. And I think my viewers also, it's just kind of, I'm their nighttime entertainment for them as well, too. I'm their decompression. And when I'm done, I'm already ready to go to bed. Maybe I'll stay up for a little bit more, but it's already probably 3 in the morning. I go to sleep every night of my life.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Now you mentioned you started streaming about 10 years ago, which at that time wasn't, a career. Obviously, you were always making money doing it. How did your family react? And it's one of those like, oh, I always knew you were going to be great. Meanwhile, back then.
No. I wish that'd be awesome, but no, it was a lot of disappointment. My parents wanted me to go to college. They wanted me to be a nurse or a chiropractor, something that was legit. So, I started playing video games and, streaming in 2015, it was unheard of, not mainstream. Nobody knew about it. So it was met with a lot of disappointment from everyone around me. And not only until about 2 or 3 years ago has my family and other close friends that have been there since the very beginning going, oh, you know what? That's so awesome. It's worked out for you. So proud of you. It's like, yeah, for like 5, 6 years, it was like, oh yeah, it's that weird guy that screams in the computer at night. Hopefully he grows out of this weird phase he's got going on. So it was a lot of resentment in terms of like, what is he going to do with his life? Because I definitely kept on being asked the question, well, when things like streaming don't work out for you, what are you going to do? And I get that. I understand that, especially coming from my parents. It's not something I could explain easily to someone that's a lot older than me what I was doing back then. Just the concept of explaining, oh yeah, I live stream and I make my living off of donations. It was the most foreign thing, and I totally get it too.
Yeah.
Because before I ever started streaming, even when I was younger, I saw it and I thought to myself, that's so weird. That makes no sense to me. But as I've been doing it for a long time, now it obviously makes sense to me, and everyone seems to understand it now. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. They want to get that person's attention because that's the only way he's going to be able to read a message. So that makes sense. This could possibly be a career. And now that they see that sponsors get picked up with it, I've been able to really grow a larger audience. Now it's all accepted. It's all good now. So proud of me now.
I still see the little chip, but I don't blame you because you know what? The truth of the matter is, I saw a meme. It was when you start out, there's like one person to stand is like, hey, I'm launching, but then the congratulations when you made it, and of course the stands are full. So I like how you articulated that. So the other thing is, you're in the social media space where social content ages up. You know that. So for example, I'm just making this up, your demographic is 18 to 24, right? Now, are you sticking with that demographic over the 10 years, meaning you cycled through 3 or 4 times, or is the 18-year-old still with you at 28, but you may be evolving your content, or is your content consistent and you're staying with the static group?
Yeah, no, my content definitely wasn't consistent. What I was streaming when I was 18 was definitely for a younger audience. So I was playing mobile games, and I was doing some silly stuff. And I moved from mobile games to another mobile game, which was Clash Royale at the time. And my audience was around the same age as me, and they've grown with me through the years because I've changed my content from different games to then fully just personality based for a period of time to Omegle. And through the live streams, I know for a fact that a lot of people have just grown with me, and their interests obviously have changed, and so has mine. And they've still supported me through it. Like a lot of the people that watched me 8 years ago and the games that I streamed and played, they don't play it anymore, but they still watch me. And I mean, I don't play a lot of the games that I used to stream, and I've found different things that I thoroughly enjoy, and they have as well with me. So it's been a blessing, and that's for the live stream aspect of it. Now, with the whole audience that watches my videos, particularly not my live streams, that's hard to say, just because I've only been doing YouTube for 4 years with all the content that I've been doing. And prior to that, I was just doing primarily live streaming only. So I know for a fact they followed me through. And
interesting. So from the business perspective, if you don't mind sharing this, you don't have to give specific numbers. From a business perspective, what do you plan your financials? You guys want to make money, you're not happily married, you have a lot of responsibility, maybe more than you had in the past. Are you more of, an AdSense guy? Are you more of a sponsorship? Are you more of donation? Like, how do you plan the finances? You have to grow and scale. Editors, employees, even maybe actors may get, some remuneration. How do you plan the financial mix and still grow?
I mean, so the beautiful thing with what we do, and just because, like, for example, I'll post something on TikTok, it does great. I'm able to then duplicate that on everything, right? In terms of like the cost to be able to continuously grow is really that much. So the initial investment is almost nothing to where we are. I mean, for the longest time, and even to this day, I didn't invest in almost anything into my setup or anything. It's very simple. Not much to it. And a lot of people, they look at it and they assume that it takes a lot of money for it, but it doesn't. For what I do particularly. So I'm in a very fortunate situation. So we are, right now as a couple, we're saving up for the future. We do have big plans, especially for content. And I'm thinking, ahead of time. I definitely want to save up for enhancing my content and moving past maybe Omegle one day and making sure that I'm able to actually execute all that. So I'm planning for the future. And I don't know what that future is going to be just yet, but I do know that having a solid finance would help quite a bit, especially if I'm going to go towards other content that doesn't rely specifically just being on my computer, scaring people, which is, obviously almost no cost to make.
What because you're growing like crazy. What scares you?
What scares me? I think it's the thing that scares every single content creator there is fading away from relevancy. It's a very scary cycle. I think I'm not the only one. Every content creator I ever ask, it's always the thing on their mind. They think to themselves, what's the next big thing? What is the next thing I got to do? How am I going to stay on top of things? It's a very scary thing. I have been very fortunate to stay, afloat over the years and slowly, continuously keep growing, which has been a massive blessing. But it's always a constant fear because you have to evolve in this space. You can't just do the same thing forever because it won't work out. I've seen that happen with many of my friends that have stuck around. They've done the same exact content that I might have been doing 7 years ago. And they've completely given up because they have just, they've lost, the drive or they've lost their audience. So it's always a constant fear. And I think everyone could also say that in the same sphere as me, they're scared of that as well too.
Well, we're wrapping up with a few more questions and then we'll wrap up. So what question didn't I ask you that you wish I asked?
I feel like the biggest misconception that people have in terms of watching other content creators is that it's easy. And necessarily there is times that it is really easy. And this just goes to anybody that is in the sphere of making content creation is continuously, they should keep trying to better themselves. Whether it be something very slight, whether it be something very little, but always be persistent. I see so many people, they have a great idea, but they give up so easily. I feel like if there's one thing I could really give in terms of is don't doubt yourself. Because the reason why I didn't do short form content for such a long time until just now was because I doubted myself of if it was even worth my time. Obviously it was. I would have never known. And the biggest thing is be grateful for who supports you. I'm in a very fortunate situation where I have a very supportive community that I, interact with on the daily, and they really make it worth it for me. I think that's like the biggest takeaway for me on the daily is the fact that, I'm able to interact with people that love me and support me, and they guide me. They let me know what I should be doing and maybe what I shouldn't be doing. So I think it's a massive support system as well too. That's personally for me. That's what has been able to. That's the reason why I think I've been able to get as far as I am today because of the support that I get. I don't think without it, I wouldn't be able to make it this far.
And I'm venturing to guess the support came from unlikely places. Is that fair to say?
Come again?
It looks like the support that you received from your community came from unlikely places. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. No, a lot of people that I've met over the years that have become friends were from my streams. I've met them in real life. They've been great friends. They've helped me. I even met friends on Omegle. They weren't even viewers. I've literally met them on Omegle and we became friends. And they visited my house. I visited their house, and they've been able to, help me out. But realistically, the community is a reflection of myself. And, I try to, besides scaring people and doing edgy content, I try to really spread a positive message, and they do the same as well. So it's a beautiful thing.
That's amazing.
Like, for example, if I was toxic, the community would be toxic. And I've learned that over the years, especially when I first started.
That's a great point. So you're going to set up, I believe your wife's name is Sophia, I believe?
Yes.
Okay. So you and Sophia are going to have a nice dinner. You're going to set the table, and you could have the 3 spots. You could have dinner with anybody dead or alive. Who are they and why?
Oh, I actually thought about this question a few times. And I never could really get myself to figure out who I'd want to have dinner with. Dead or alive?
Yeah.
So definitely one person that I would love to have at the dinner table, just because I have so many questions, is Mr. Beast. I would love to ask him more questions on the business side of things, because I'm sure, I have so many questions in terms of, how he runs it and what he would recommend me for doing, because that would be a massive eye opener. Let me try to think of someone else that would be not alive here. Let me think.
Yeah.
Because when you bring it up, I think, like, okay, right off the bat, I'm like, okay, gotta have Mr. Beast, gotta ask him about business aspect of it, future wise, what is he thinking, what he could help me with. everything that comes to mind is just other content creators.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'm thinking the three so I would need more time to think about who would not be the person that'd be alive, but in terms of who I'd want to be at entertainment, I'd want it to be Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, just so I can ask some more questions, and another content creator that actually doesn't live too far away from me. I have not met him, but I'd love to have dinner with him. His name is Moist Critical. If you have not checked out his content, a phenomenal content creator, very funny, great personality. Those are the three people that I'd like to meet up with in real life that are alive right now. But I might have to get back to you on the people that are not alive. That's not something I think about too often. But it would be those three content.
I love it. No, it's a question that you kind of get very pensive towards. You go like in your trade. Some people get religious. Some people get people who pass. So I love your answers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, usually people will pick like Jesus. I get that. That's a great one to pick.
I once interviewed an ex mob guy, and I asked him who the three people or whoever he wanted to eat with, and he did three colleagues that were other killers, and I asked him, I'm like, wouldn't you want to have dinner with Jesus? He goes, no, I'm going to meet him anyway.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's a good way of looking at it. Never mind.
Well, listen, it was a pleasure. Super excited to meet you. Give us, obviously, it's Hyphonix. I'm going to put the links below. I mean, to be honest, you probably lose more subs in a month than I have total, but I would love for my community to check you out, and it's cool to get some new people over. But for those on audio, how can people find you?
So I live stream every single day on YouTube. Hyphonix is my channel. I post on TikTok, which is just Hyphonix_YT. I post on Instagram as well, which is official_Hyphonix. Those are the three platforms that I primarily spend all my time in terms of posting all the content. But if you want to get to know me as a person, watch my live streams on YouTube. I'm live every day.
I love it. Thanks so much for your time, and thank you for being on the New Theory podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.